Gon Shalom Akim. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushai, by Hashem HaKadosh. Double honors to the other apostles of Great Millstone who teach true will, and Shalom to the sincere Akim, spread His truth and sincerity. Shalom. So in this video I want to talk about a little something concerning how the Most High will provide, man. The Most High will always provide for us. Even though He brings us down, there will be a time in which He also will bring us up, man. And yesterday in the camp, I wanted to start off with, the story of Joseph and how much meat there are to be found in whatever, Joseph went through for us to learn, man. Pursuant to Romans chapter 15 and 4, where it says that the things that are written aforetime are written for our learning, that through the comfort of the scriptures, we might have hope, man. And if we go into the story of Joseph, he was just, comfortable, with his father, his mother, his brethren. His brethren, they, did something, wicked concerning him. But if you think about it, actually it was the Most High that, put Joseph in that predicament, man. Put the Spirit upon his brethren, to allow that to happen. You see, and eventually Joseph also, he came into in the house of Potiphar. Eventually, what happened unto him was false accusation concerning committing adultery with the wife of Potiphar, and eventually he ended up in prison, man. Having to suffer wrongfully. Which those are things that we also have to go through within His truth, man. Things that are, not right, that might have happened, concerning judgment. But the Most High does all these things with a reason, man. He might set us up, through the Spirit to learn certain lessons in life, man. You see, and eventually Joseph, he was brought into prison. Eventually, he was brought out because he was able to break down the dreams of, if I'm correct, it was the baker and the cupbearer. Not 100% on those, but two men that were residing in the house of Pharaoh, but were displaced of their position, being put into prison. Joseph broke down that one of them would be killed, and the other one would be brought back to his position. And that years later, one of them remembered what Joseph did concerning breaking down the dream and then coming to pass as well, which Pharaoh was suffering a couple of dreams that was bothering him, and he wanted to know the interpretation thereof. Joseph was the one that the Most High used to interpret the dream, and eventually, set up Joseph in a higher position to eventually, be the one to make sure that the nation of Israel eventually, will be safe during the time of famine, right? Which started off with the 12 patriarchs, who later on then multiplied and, begat children, etc., etc., etc. But Joseph was used by the Heavenly Father for a purpose, man. And if you look at the life of Joseph, the Most High provided, man, in many, many, many ways. He provided for the nation of Israel. He provided for Joseph. He kept him safe during all the things that he went through. And the Most High is going to do the same with us, man. We're going to be tried, tested. We're going to lose money. We're going to have to pay a lot of bills. We might lose our wives, our children, etc., etc. But the Most High will, along the way, always provide for us, man. And that's the thing that I want to bring forth in this lesson. Is yes, the Most High will provide in due season. The Most High brings you along, man. And right now, speaking about my own experience and the things that I went through, I got the main, quote-unquote, custody of my daughter because I would not be able to take care of her by myself with the situation that I was in, the job, the education, the daycare, etc., etc., etc. All these things, I would not be able to do that. So the Spirit of Yahweh Yahushai, the brothers recommended me to go back live with my parents, or now with my parents, and that provides me with the opportunity to start all over again, man. Provide a possibility to, establish myself financially, go to school, get the education, build my own business, which that's what I did recently. I was able to become self-employed as a handyman on the side next to the work that I'm already doing to bring forth more money, man. And not only would that be able to benefit me, but Yar Jaza, that would also be able to benefit the body of Yahweh Shemi Yoshai, man. Starting off with, the brothers that are closer to me, that are a part of my own camp. Yar Jaza, also be able to, benefit the other apostles, GMS on down, man. See, the Most High will always provide, man. The situation that I was in, me being able to take care of my daughter, after she has been taken away from me for months, being able to see her, having gone to the judicial system, that put me in a situation that I would not have been completely able to take care of myself and my daughter the way that I should have. But me going back to my parents, gave me the possibility to start over again financially, get my own place, or to in the future, have more financial opportunities that I would not have right now, the opportunity to study. Me will also having the influence on my daughter in the way that she's raised, in the way of Yahweh Shemi Yoshai, because hey, yesterday in the camp we also discussed about how when we came into truth, man, we were all Israelite foreigners. We were all unaware of the Commonwealth of Israel, man. But our children that grow up with us being in the truth, they are not Israelite foreigners, man. They grew up, with the ways of Yahweh Shemi Yoshai, man. They from the get-go don't eat the pork, we tell them, not to eat the shrimp. So like to eat the shrimp, crab, and lobster, the shrimp as in crab and shrimp together. But, in that way, the Most High is providing, for me, my daughter, for the brothers, in a way that, I cannot even foretell. But having the faith that the Most High is going to provide, because the Most High said, man, that He's not going to forsake those that call upon Him, man. Whoever did the Most High forsake that trusted in Him, man, pursuant to Sirach, the 2nd chapter, man. You see, the Most High would not suffer His servants, to perish in famine, man. The Most High is going to take care of us, man. So my parents, being willing to, to take me in with my daughter, the brothers being willing to help me, here and there with the situation. Them being more mindful of, hey, this man, he has certain responsibilities now that he has to take, which that's also more beneficial for me, because now I have to take the responsibility to develop myself into a man that is able to take care of his own household more and more, man. See, so the Most High will always provide in ways that are unimaginable, man. Always, man. He's going to provide us with the development that we need, putting us in situations. He's going to provide us with the financial capabilities that we need in order to, have our daily bread from day to day. You see, so the Most High, man, He's going to provide for us always. Always. You see. And these are things that, we cannot really fathom, all the times. But once we really sit down and look at certain situations in a spiritual way, we're able to determine, like, hey, the Most High, man, He's really providing, man. One of the brothers, he said in a video that I watched from him, he is in my camp as well. The brother Tazza Bashar, that I teach with, and he also said, man, hey, if you're low on money, the Most High, in a funny way, He's gonna make sure that you're gonna have a lot of money, man. Right now, the company that I started, hasn't even been in, like in action or live less than a month, man, maybe 3 weeks. I already have, a lot of customers. My weekends under Sunday are full. Throughout the weeks I have a couple of things here and there. Today I had one. Tomorrow morning I have one. Thursday I have something. the evening going on. Then also next Sunday, you know, I have a job you know, that I have to go to. Then after that also, you know, I'm gonna take one of the brothers with me, you know, because he's a carpenter himself, so he has, you know, more knowledge, wisdom, understanding concerning that specific job. So I want his expertise on that, you know, and then he can also help me with another thing that needs to be done. You see, so the Most High is providing, man. You know, me being in a situation that I want to have my own house, that I want to have my own car, and all these things. Because to be true, man, the Most High, He stripped me away from everything that I had, man. I used to have a car, you know. I used to have the financial freedom and the possibilities that I have, that I don't have right now. I used to have all those things, man. But the Most High brings high and it brings low, man. You see, and all those, just like Apostle Paul said, man. I used to, he said something like, with whatever situation I'm in, you know, I learned to be content, man. I learned to be. He learned how both to be to abound and to be abased, man. You know, to suffer need and to have enough. Also, we need to remember the times in which we had nothing, man. You know, and then when we have something, we need to remember the times that, you know, we're good, etc., etc. So when we have it good, we need to remember the times that we had nothing, and when we suffer, when we suffer the need for things, we need to remember the times that we had something, because that keeps us humble, man. And that humility is gonna remind you of, hey, the Most High is in control of all these things, man. You're not gonna boast yourself in your achievements, because you understand that the Most High was in control of everything that was taken away from you. You see? So yeah, long story short, the Most High, He shall and will provide, man. You know, He is going to provide for you, and it might not always be in the way that you want things to happen, but it will be in the way that you need these things, whether it's for your development, whether it is, you know, to help the body, you know, whether it is, you know, for you to learn a lesson, man. You see, and that's the beautiful thing about Yahweh Shem Yahushai, man. You know, His ways cannot be comprehended, man. His ways are higher than our ways, you know, and these are things that we need to constantly remind ourselves of, you know. And you know, there's a reason that I'm, you know, making, you know, a video like this, is because I come to these realizations myself, you know. And he that teacheth another, does he not also teach himself? And he that watereth someone else, does he not water himself? You see, so you're always, you know, teaching yourself first, but meanwhile you're trying to teach someone else. You know, the positive effect of that is that you yourself benefit from that as well, man. You see, and that's the beautiful thing, man. You know, a constant progression, you know, in the directions that the Most High wants you to go, man. So yeah, man, hey, Yarotazai, you know, this video was edifying. And with that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham Rakakadosh. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone who teach our rule well, and shalom to the sincere Archeum who spread His truth and sincerity. Shalom.